Welcome to Behind the Audition podcast with your host, Curt Hilton. Listen in on interviews with voiceovers, filmmakers, producers, animators, and much more. Curt, a voice actor himself, will give insider tips to the business, talk with guests about how they got into the business, and be sure to stay tuned to the end of the podcast when he challenges his guests with a pop-up audition. Now it's time for Behind the Audition podcast. Here's Curt Hilton.
Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Audition podcast. This week, I got to sit down and talk to the one and only Alfonso Lugo. Alfonso is a very successful music producer, composer, coach, guitarist, singer, and an amazing bilingual voice actor. We talked about how he likes to focus on one type of voice acting. He gave tips for those who want to get into the music business, and how one acronym I want everybody to write down. You don't want to miss it. So sit back and enjoy another episode of Behind the Audition podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, the one, the only Alfonso Lugo. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for having me. This is a pleasure.
Oh, I'm so excited to talk to you. We actually got to meet each other from a friend. So I'm glad that we got to finally talk, and I'm excited to have you on the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's super, super cool to share with you guys.
Absolutely. And so I first want to talk about how you're a music producer, a composer, a coach, a guitarist, a singer, and a voiceover talent. How do you have that much time in one day?
That's the problem. Time management is a big challenge in my life. There's a lot of things I still want to do because I want to go and do some other like visual stuff, like documentaries, productions. But there's no enough hours in one day, so I have to just try to keep it in the audio realm for now. But you're very right. It's a challenge. So I mainly focus in two things. Like, first is my voiceover career. I'm a Spanish voiceover talent. I'm the voice of some brands internationally. I record for brands in Mexico, Colombia, and here in the United States for the Latino market. And the other thing is I have my recording studio, and I do music production for different stuff, like primarily for TV commercials. I do the music for big campaigns too. But sometimes when the time it's a good time and like I can move things here and there, I produce other artists as well, including myself. So yeah, those are the two things I do in my day-by-day basis. And yeah, I'm running a company in Mexico, but I do have a team that is helping me with that, which is fantastic. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I moved here 5 years ago, pursuing exactly just to make all these careers make them grow,
Absolutely. And I guess I got to ask you, what do you prefer most, music or voice acting? If I had my choice, if I could play music like a guitar, like I have a ukulele and a acoustic guitar that collects dust, but I can play, a little bit of ukulele, and I played a little bit with that stuff. What would you prefer to do? I think I would rather be a musician if I could sing, because you're a really good singer too.
Thank you. That's a really, really hard question. Let me tell you why. Because I'm passionate about audio in general.
Okay.
So, and I was not pursuing voiceover. Like, I knew I wanted to be a music producer and a sound engineer since I was very, very young. And of course a singer and, write songs and everything. But like, I never grew up saying like, hey, I'm going to be a voiceover, Right. It happened because I was in the studio. It happened because I was in the right, at the right time with with the right people. And so everything started to grow naturally. And at some point I realized like, whoa, this is a big career. So I have to take it seriously, Right. So, but like being in the studio, being able to do both at the same time, that is a big, like, I'm blessed. You know what I'm saying? Right. It is, for example, I'm doing a music production thing right now, and then my agent sent me an audition. I just stop for a little bit, jump into the booth, record that audition, and then I send it, and then I come back to my music thing. So it's there. So I would say 50-50. Like, that's a very hard question, but like I would say both are super, I'm super passionate about both, you know?
Right. And
So yeah.
I think one thing what I really love that you like is you have, most people have a niche, and you like promotions, and I like promotions myself, but you'll see a lot of voice actors that will do so many different types of voiceover. You have one that you stick to, and you do so well at it that I admire that.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Commercial voiceover. Yeah. That's my specialty. I did a lot of stuff in other genres as well, like, audiobooks or promo. I was the voice channel in Mexico, and I did a lot of other stuff. But like in my strategy, my career or life strategy or business strategy, I chose to do commercial. The first reason is because somehow the brands are value, like I'm putting a lot of value in my voice. That's the first. I'm being recognized in that realm,
right?
And so I'm being successful. And the second reason is like it's not a lot of time, so it's not time consuming. For example, if you do the voice of an audiobook, it requires a lot of hours,
Yes.
or like e-learning projects or something. I do those, but I do more like commercial voiceover for sure,
Right. Absolutely. When I first got into the world of voice acting, I did try the ACX thing. I did, I'll do e-learning every once in a while, but like you said, it takes so much time and it consumes your day. And I love just getting into character, doing that promotion like you're talking about. And it literally, your whole day could be shot if you do get into reading books and e-learning and all that. And I think what you talk about is what a lot of voice actors should do is pick something that you're really passionate about. And that's to my next question. Why do you think us voice actors are so passionate about doing this job? Because there's a gajillion of us out there, but we still want it. We thrive for it. We want to do it. This is what we want to do. Why do you think that is?
I think the first reason is because you can have a very good professional setting at home. So that brings like some cool, like you are comfortable. That's the first, that would be the first reason, like you're comfortable in your environment, and you can just run a business from home. And that is a privilege nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, in this crazy pandemic times, if you ask me, I was ready since forever, since way before the pandemic hit and hits. And, like at the end of the day, being comfortable running a business from home, it's something that pretty much every human being wants.
Right. Absolutely.
So that would be the first one. And the second one, it's like create something big with your voice. That thing is amazing. You can change like environments. You can transmit a lot of emotions with your voice, and you can do transformation, with your voice. And that is something magical. So if you approach this from the business side, it's comfortable. And in the second approaching, I would say it is magical because we are using something very powerful.
Wow.
Our voice.
Yeah.
So that would be my answer.
Very good. Very good. And, being on the music side too, you make music for commercials. When I first got into this, before that I was a DJ, and I created promos for my own, marketing. And I thought I knew how to make music beds, but I learned real quick how hard it was. And what advice would you give to those who would like to make music for commercials? Like what would be a first step for them?
Oh, it's a very different market, like the pop market, the R&B market, like the music production for movies or video games and advertising. Those are very different markets, and the approaching is totally different,
Right.
My background, I studied science of communication, but then I did a specialty in advertising, and then I did music production. So those three careers combined together resulted in this like advertising world, right? You need to understand like the consumer minds, like the consumers behaviors and stuff. You have to have something extra and translate those concepts into like melodies or rhythms or something. I'm gonna give you an example. It's not the for example, when we were, I was running 4 recording studios in Mexico. I was partnered with this company in Mexico, and we were doing some workshops for the creatives in the agencies to tell them how to ask for things, right? Mm-hmm. Instead of coming and saying like, "Hey, I want a Coldplay vibe for this song," we let's say we analyzed a Coldplay song. So like, okay, why you want that? You know, like
right.
like. So we divided the song into rhythm, melodies, harmonies, and all these moods. And we start talking about, okay, this is a minor chord, and this is a major chord, and this is a major 7th chord. So when you start like explaining that, and you start complicate things, you know, you start losing people. You start losing attention because the majority of the population on Earth, you know, like they want simple stuff.
Right.
So repetition. So you start like incorporate a lot of concepts, and everything starts making sense to them. Saying like, oh, okay, no, I want something simple that is gonna be super, you know, bubblegum. You know, like you can just absorb it right super quick, and then is when all this psychology behind it comes to the table, right? It's like, yes, perfect. What are we going to say? Okay, we're going to say something happy. We're going to say something sad. Is this campaign is going to go towards like a very noble thing, or is going to be just selling, or is going to be edgy? So, and then, you know, like you start like creating something extremely cool with a lot of elements and with a lot of information from the brand and from the creatives and from the focus groups. And you have to translate that into something that is going to be a big success.
Absolutely.
And I would say one of my biggest campaigns in Mexico, I created this jingle, if you want to call it, jingle for brand, mattresses brand.
Oh, cool.
Lasted for more than 5 years on air.
Wow.
And that is something I was not expecting that, you know, like I know it's one of those things like, yeah, let's create this campaign. And normally if a campaign is successful, you can run for the whole year.
Wow.
But then when they renewed like the rights and I was just getting all these royalty checks and stuff, like what?
Oh my goodness.
It became like a trending topic on Twitter, and everyone was talking about this bear like playing the piano and singing, and it's like what?
Oh my goodness. So it's kind of like the show 2.5 Men. You're like Charlie, you know, you're making all those jingles and all that money.
Exactly. Hopefully.
You get just as excited too when you hear your music on TV. Do you get more excited when you hear your voice or when you hear your music?
Every time. That is awesome. That never gets old. It's super, super cool to, you know, like to I watch like final of the FIFA World Cup final, and you have 3 commercials on air. And probably one of them is with your voice, and then another one is with your music, and it's just super cool, you know?
Absolutely.
That is really, really cool.
So you're an active business partner as well. Tell us a little bit about your company.
Well, I started that company with another business partner, and at the end of the day, I bought him up. So I just kept the company myself. It just made sense for my business strategy. And I do have a company in Mexico. It's an audiovisual production.
Nice.
And we do actually animation, and I'm in charge of the audio part and the music part, right?
Very cool.
We do animation, and we do video production as well, and we do shoot commercials and corporate videos and stuff. And I do have another company here in the States, and that is a recording studio, like a fully professional recording studio where I develop everything. So both companies work together, you know? Like my company, Mexican company, outsourced the audio and music from my American company.
Wow.
And yeah, like we at the end of the day, we are 1, 2, 3, 4 sound engineers working in different projects, editing and stuff. And I do have a big team doing other animation and like video production and post production. So yeah. That is pretty exciting. To be
Absolutely.
honest. And without my team, I wouldn't work. Like they're amazing. they're super, super cool.
That is great. And, talking about your team, as well as you were a creative director, and I want to talk about marketing. A lot of voiceover call, the creative directors, production companies, radio stations, TV stations, what have you. How many calls did you get? And is that what opened your eyes when you're a creative director of all this voice acting that could be available to you?
Definitely, yeah. Being full-time, hands-on on like brands, like creating these strategies and campaigns, big campaigns for big brands, gave me all these understanding about one thing is the actual product,
Right.
And it could be whatever. It could be a car, could be a chair, could be whatever, you name it, right?
Absolutely.
And the other thing is creating, how do you feel when you use that product? Like, where does that take you? So selling products is one thing, but selling emotions and all these things that you experiment when you buy this product or use it or something is a different story. So when I did the crossover in like, okay, I understand the product. We need to sell. How you feel.
Right.
Then it was easy for me to translate that into voiceover. Because publicists and of course advertising guys and agencies and stuff, we are more driven to sell what you feel, like these emotions, right?
Right. To
create the necessity of having that product, or like why having that product is going to be super cool for you and for your life, etc. Like, I know I could go on forever, but like, it's that crossover,
Absolutely. Well, it's to my next question. I love your acronym, KSE. I want you to talk about it a little more. First of all, you need to make the T-shirt or some kind of branding, because I first heard that. It's genius. So tell us a little bit about your marketing and the KSE acronym.
Well, the KSE is not my thing. I just adopted that to my business model and coaching and system, right? But the KSE, you can find it out there in several books, or like a lot of marketing guys talk about it. And it's super, super simple. It's just creating a strategy. It's called K as knowledge, S as a strategy, E as an execution. Knowledge, strategy, execution. So you divide 3 columns, and in the first column you put like knowledge, everything you know about whatever you're gonna do, and you can create KSEs for everything. And the best example, the best analogy I do when I do my coaching is like, let's do a KSE for grocery shopping, right? Like you like, it's something that everyone does pretty much every week, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the first question I ask to the people I'm coaching is like, hey, do you do an optimal grocery shopping? And they say like, yeah, of course. Yeah, I know exactly what I want, blah, blah, blah. And then I start asking these questions, Okay, so do you know how far is the supermarket that you go to buy? Yes. Do you know how expensive are the products in that market compared to other markets?
Right.
No. Okay, so that's something to improve there, knowledge. Do you know, like, how many, like, do you think you have under control everything you're spending on the supermarket grocery shopping? Yes. And it's like, do you know exactly how much gas do you spend when you go there? No. Okay, you have to add that to the list. Knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So knowledge, the knowledge column is very, very important, because the more you know, more powerful you are. Nice. That means you can improve your system, right? Yeah. Or for example, do you know how many cubic feet your fridge is?
Nope.
No. How many food can hold? Do you know how long the vegetables go for a week, or like for 2 weeks, or like those little pieces of information? They're gonna make a big difference in the next column, right?
Absolutely.
So once you have all the knowledge pretty solid, then you go to the strategy, which is like, oh my gosh, I just realized that if the supermarket is like a mile away from my house, but there's another supermarket that has the cheaper products, like, which is 1.8 miles away, what if I go to this market and then I take my car and go to the other one? And then, then you start strategizing everything in order to have better results, either saving money, being more efficient, wasting less food that is not going to go bad. All this kind of facts like matter at the end of the day, like everything is super, super important. And then the last column, right? So you said you were going to do this on Saturday morning because less people go to the supermarket. Thursday morning because less people go to the supermarket on Thursday morning, according to your research, according to your knowledge. Then what you need to do is just grab your car, and you said you were going to be there at 9:50, something you're driving.
Yes.
So, because if you don't execute what you said you were going to do, you're not going to get anywhere.
Absolutely.
So it's very important in this last column to put like dates and times to execute whatever you are creating in the other two columns.
I love it.
So that KSE, which is not my signature, but I adopted it, I apply it to my everything I do, and that makes like people, like the people is being coached by me. It makes a big difference, because after we have this coaching sessions, they know exactly how to execute this, and they know exactly where to go and how to get there faster and in a better way,
I love it. And so you're a very successful bilingual coach as well as a voiceover. Tell me about, in the world of being a bilingual voice actor, is it easier for you to land auditions, or is it just the same? Because I'm always curious myself.
There's always challenges, like for example, yes, I'm bilingual, but I do have an accent, as you can tell.
It's cool though. It's a very cool accent.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But I'm working on it. And the reason is like, yes, I do like to have it, but sometimes I miss opportunities because it's a strong accent. So my strategy has to be focused in Spanish auditions, and of course the English ones that require an accent.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And sometimes it could be like requested like a Latin accent or like Hispanic accent, or sometimes it's like European but maybe Italian. Or I do speak Portuguese because I lived in Brazil. Mm-hmm. So I fit those auditions as well. And but like with time, and if you do auditions every day, that becomes your like gym. So pretty much like if you audition every day all the time, at some point you're gonna master what you have in your instrument, right?
Right.
Your emotions, your voice, your inflections. So you create in this audition. I call them golden opportunities. I don't call them auditions, because you never know what this golden opportunity is gonna lead you to.
There you go.
Some of them I did like, okay, I don't know. It was just a simple job, like super, super small job that I could think. And I became the voice of the brand after doing an audition. So you don't really know, so you have to put all this good energy in every audition. And every time you get an audition, I know a lot of colleagues that is like, oh, I have to do an audition. And that energy is going to reflect in the audition.
Negativity is contagious. Absolutely.
So if you get an audition or a golden opportunity, the way I call it, and you say like, oh my gosh, yes, I got an opportunity, that's way different. Like the delivery is going to be different. The drive is going to be different. You're going to be excited to jump into the booth to create this beautiful piece. And then like you have to become this artist of the voice, or of the like feelings and emotions, in order to create something cool. And that is what conquers all the steps in this process, which is like the producer, and then the creative, and then the client, and then the final consumer.
Absolutely.
So yeah, auditions are great.
Now, do you see like so when you get into the world of voiceover, you try to hit every audition. Do you agree, like when you get to a certain level, you're like, you know what, I'm tired of this type of voice. You say it's promotion for you. That certain type of promotion, you just pass it. You're just like, nope. Are you just a go-getter, and every single one you're going for?
Oh, that's a great question. I do go with my instincts.
Okay.
Sometimes, like reading the specs is very important in order to understand what they want. And sometimes they know exactly what they want, and it's super aligned with everything, the brand and the goals and everything.
Sure.
So it's just a matter of you putting your touch in that reading or with those specs. But sometimes they are missing some stuff that you can bring to the table, and it's important for you to show them that probably doing it a little bit different from the specs could work as well.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes going crazy totally in the other direction and opposite could bring something very, very cool and spicy to the equation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can add some spices here and there and do something crazy, totally not expected, and then you're gonna get the attention of everyone in this production chain. So I recommend that too. It's more like connecting with the final result that you want to accomplish.
Sure.
What is going to give me what I'm gonna deliver? I don't know if I'm answering your question.
No,
way, but
it's perfect. That's exactly what I'm looking for. And you were talking earlier. So your career in Mexico City, would you say it was harder there, or would you say it was hard? It's harder here.
Well, that's a great question. Both markets are very different. Both they bring different challenges. But I would say here in America, sessions are well organized, and it's a teamwork. Clearly, you can feel the teamwork, and creatives here are super open, and they give you great direction. They're way more prepared,
Mm-hmm.
And by this, I don't want to, I don't want to say like Mexicans are not prepared. It's more like they're under pressure as well, and there's a lot of factors playing in that game. So there's a difference in between auditions here and there, and I don't know. I feel more comfortable doing sessions. I said auditions, but it's sessions. Doing sessions here because I know I'm gonna get there, at 10 or like record at 10, and then we're gonna be out by 11 or
Sure.
And if we don't finish the session at 11, then I'm gonna be compensated more. In Mexico, that doesn't happen. Your call is 10, but sometimes you arrive there at 10 or like whatever, and then the session starts at 10:30 or 11. There's different dynamics, and but at the end of the day, being like or facing all these challenges like brought me a lot of tools as well that I can use nowadays. For example, when you face this is very common. The creatives and the agency, they know exactly what they want, and the idea is fantastic, and you say like, perfect, let's accomplish this. But then the client wants something different, or is a little bit lost, or is a lot under pressure about doing sales and just reaching a number or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, you see a conflict there, right?
Right.
And you're going to voice that. You're going to voice that campaign. So becoming like this, like Switzerland ground where they can totally sit and talk. I don't know if I'm doing the right analogy, but like, so you have to just bring the both worlds. You have to give them something good to both goals. Like you have to give the creative what he's looking for, and you have to give the client what he's looking for as well.
Oh, okay.
So but like I'm just being extreme in this explanation, but like there's a lot of sessions that they run super smoothly there as well.
Yeah, that's good to know.
On a lot of factors, but I like more here.
So I'm gonna have some fun here. So you're a coach, and the first step to being a voice actor, a lot of those would recommend somebody get a voiceover coach to help them out. Are you a tough coach, or what? Like, if I were to come to you, what's your expectations as a voiceover coach?
That you make money.
That's the best answer I've heard. That is awesome.
Yeah.
So quick too.
At the end of the day, a good coach, this is the thing. I'm not pursuing like a coaching career because I'm super busy doing actually voiceover and music production, all the stuff I'm doing. Sure. But every time someone get like, someone comes to me, like recommended by someone, I definitely coach that person, because that helps me to establish a good relationship with a colleague.
Sure.
We're doing a change in our market, in our industry. That's super important. I'm gonna, share my knowledge, but I'm gonna learn a lot from that person as well. So it's both ways exchange of energy, which is fantastic. And I always take that opportunity. My point is, I don't promote my services, but I do coach everyone that comes to me, right?
Love it.
So and my main goal is always like putting structure, the best structure or infrastructure to your business in order for you to make money the fastest and the best way possible.
Love it. I love it.
And if you start making this, then that means that I'm a good coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, I'm one of those coaches, like, okay, but you have to do the homework. Yes, but you have to do what is required. So please, just focus on whatever we need to do, and let's just walk solid and do, sometimes it's baby steps. Sometimes you can go faster. Sometimes it's going to be running a marathon.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you're going to get results. And that is something that I push my coaches a lot to do.
Very nice. And it's that time for the audition challenge. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to give you a line, and then you can read it however you want. And it's going to be a fun little line. And the line's going to be, no, 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 I don't think so. I, Alfonso Lugo, will get the last of the candy corn popcorn.
But I will totally do something more natural.
Okay.
No, 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 I don't think so. I, Alfonso Lugo, will get the last of the candy corn popcorn.
Yes. I love it. I love it. That is awesome. So let's talk about what's going on. Is there anything you want to talk about that's coming out that we should know about?
Well, I mean, I'm taking the time in these pandemic times to prioritize things. For example, I was making a lot of progress with my singing career. And suddenly, we had like this tour coming, and I had to stop that tour. So that means that I need to spend more time creating more music in the studio.
Sure.
And I've been doing that, but in terms of my voiceover career, I'm super happy working with my new agent and management team. So I'm getting a lot of auditions from them, and I'm getting edgier, and I'm doing more English auditions as well. And it's pretty challenging because reading in English and understanding there's difference in the cultures. So the way you read and deliver in English is different. So I'm just doing more and more in order to start understanding and bringing something different to those reads as well. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I don't want to do what everyone is doing, but I definitely need to deliver. So that is what is happening in my life right now. I'm reinventing myself and being edgier doing English auditions.
Love it. And where can we hear your music?
My music. Okay, so I have 15 songs out. You can listen to them in Spotify or iTunes, and I have some videos as well in my YouTube channel. Not all of them, but I do have some lyric videos and actual videos. And Alfonso Lugo. You can find me on any platform. Alfonso Lugo Music or Alfonso Lugo on Instagram, Twitter. Alfonso Lugo in YouTube. And thank you for the support. And I do have a record label supporting me.
Nice.
So they're amazing. One of my songs actually is doing pretty good in Europe, and I'm super happy. It has more like the 1 million plays already.
Wow.
So yeah, it's great. It's beautiful. Actually, my record label reached out this morning saying my song is being played in Australia.
Wow.
The radio as we speak. So those things are amazing. They bring a lot of satisfaction, and it's finally, I'm getting somewhere with my music, because it was always my dream. Sharing. I just want people to be happy, dance, and smile.
You are like one of the coolest people. I mean, seriously, like you're a pleasure to talk to. Everything's positive with you. That's why I love talking to you. It's great.
we need that, man. Like seriously, like we're living in a crazy world right now, and there's a lot of challenges, and sometimes just forgetting a little bit of, like, about what's going on in the world, and just dance and sing and just put a smile on your face. Then the purpose of that song would be finalized with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I can make you smile or dance or sing, then it's gonna be it's totally worth it.
Absolutely. People might not want to hear me sing, but I can try to dance.
I'm pretty sure you sing well. Come on.
I think I can. And my family's like, hey, let's keep it to the singer. Thanks. And so, how could one hire you for a voice acting job?
How can anyone hire me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can just reach out directly through my website, alfonsolugo.com. And there's or you can send me an email, alfonsolugo@alfonsolugo.com. And I would definitely send you whatever you need, my demos or auditions or my rates or something. And it would be a pleasure for me to work with you.
Absolutely. You've been so great to have on the show. Thank you so much for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Alfonso Lugo.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Curt. You're amazing. Thank you for the opportunity. And I mean, come on. Everything like every time I'm invited to do an interview or something, I always give credit to the person who's putting the effort to put it out there. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
I know what that means. And that's exactly the difference between having a nice industry and a very mediocre industry.
Wow.
What you're doing, bringing our industry to a different level and just sharing the knowledge and bringing, building those bridges in between us and the audience and learning from them, because you know what I'm saying? If you promote this and someone reaches out and stuff, like you create something beautiful. And that's because of you, So I have to thank you for the opportunity. I have to give you big credit and a big shout out to you. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, he made my day. Alfonso Lugo, thank you so much for being on the show.
I appreciate it. It was a pleasure for me to share with you.
Thanks for listening in on Behind the Audition podcast, made possible by Hilton Productions. If you need a male or female voiceover, contact us at hiltonproductions.com. Hilton Productions, let our voices do the selling.